Hi Gemini, welcome to your October 2025 astrology forecast. We are starting off the month in Libra season, which means that the sun is in Libra, which is traveling through your fifth house. This means that there is a spotlight on creativity, romance, and children. You probably have a lot more love to give. There's just a lot of vital energy that's going towards kids, if you have them, your personal passion projects, or possibly even hobbies. Anything that brings more joy into your life. That's what the sun is highlighting for you this month. On October 4th, we have a pretty interesting energy. We have a Virgo Venus coming to perfect a conjunction with a South Node. The South Node is indicative of endings to karmic cycles. It often denotes separations, cutting away things that no longer serve us. And when this is happening in your fourth house, which is ruled by Virgo in your case, it can point to endings tied to home, family, or your roots or upbringing. Now it can be, karmic closure related to domestic family matters, or it can even be, just moving away from possibly your childhood home, your environment is changing, or, in a general sense, it can just show family ties that are shifting or changing directions in some way. Or another. Now, Venus does rule your fifth house, which is combined with the fourth house energy, can even be you experiencing empty nest syndrome, where adult children are leaving home or they're moving away. So you're experiencing a sense of possible goodbyes, separations, or ending of this sort. Now, the fifth house also talks about certain types of activities or hobbies, passion projects. And Venus is, your personal taste. It's what you love doing. So it can even be you letting go of certain hobbies or projects to make room for new things in your life. Now, this energy can definitely speak to more serious endings, especially related to romantic situations, especially if you have personal planets on the 18 degrees of mutable signs. So it could be Virgo, then that would conjunct this Venus and South Node, which can be sort of more major, endings to romantic cycles or karmic connections. Or even if you have points or planets in 18 degrees of Sagittarius, Pisces, or even Gemini. It's just, can speak of things that you associate strongly with, things that were part of your identity, the way you express, communicate, or maybe even the profession or work field that you worked in may all be changing and going through a sense of ending. But if you don't have a strong 18 mutable planets or placements, then it can just be a smaller goodbyes, smaller letting goes, and it doesn't have to be a major energy for you. And then on the 6th of October, we do have our full moon in Aries. This is falling in your 11th house. So it's talking about friendships, groups, social circles, and it's some kind of culmination. And it can even speak of tension, conflict, or confrontation, not because the full moon speaks of that sort of energy, but the pull and push between Aries and Libra can represent like an energy of me versus them, me versus us, or putting your own personal needs above group or social collective needs. Also, this full moon is lining up with Mercury, which is moving into the sign of Scorpio in your sixth house, which again can speak of information surfacing or information exchange, news related to work. But this, what makes it more potent and strong is this Mercury, as it enters Scorpio, is squaring off with Pluto in your ninth house, which is a pretty major, intense energy. So there can be, Pluto is really representative of the things that's hidden under the surface. It can even speak of underworld. More symbolically, it's the subconscious, hidden matters, things that's not revealed or readily available to us. We have to do some digging. So it can, bring conflict due to personal beliefs or perspectives because it is involving the ninth house. But combined with the full moon energy, you can really come from a place of this irrational intensity and needing to fight for yourself and needing to defend. You can even act out of a place of being very stubborn and opinionated as well. And maybe it's not even you. You may deal with people like this around this time. So just try to, keep cool and collected, which might be easier for you since you are an air sign, very versatile, quick to change type of air sign. So you probably are able to adapt to any sort of challenging situations easier than others. But just to keep in mind, emotional, charges are running pretty high. And it's because of that Mercury and Pluto plus full moon energy. The next transit I kind of want to mention is occurring on October 14th. And this is actually a pretty interesting energy. On October 14th, Venus moves into its own sign, Libra, activating your fifth house. But as it does so, it's forming a grand trine aspect to both Pluto and Uranus. Now, Uranus energy is extremely important for you because Uranus is in Gemini. So it's affecting your first house of your identity, how you come off, your persona, how others see you, your life trajectory, the way you carry yourself. So it has a lot of energy just related to, who you are. But the trine aspect, it is, harmonious. Venus and Uranus are trying to work together to create some sort of change for your benefit, right? So it can even, you might want to change up your looks, for example, because Venus wants to glow up, especially in its own sign, Libra. There is a strong desire to beautify your own physical appearance. With the Pluto involved, which is ninth house, it can be, related to travel, your belief systems, your perspectives, how you relate and interact with religion, spirituality, astrology, and all that sort of thing. So there may be changes happening related to those sort of themes in your life. But this Venus does come with a bit of conflict because as it moves into Libra, it's directly opposing Neptune in Aries, which is also at 0 degrees. So there is a sense of having to face disillusionment, having to face disappointment. But it's in order to redirect you to kind of the correct pathway forward. All this is creating, on top of the grand trine, the opposition to Neptune plus Saturn is forming what's called a kite configuration. So all of these planets, some in harmonious way, supportive manner, are working together, but some in challenging and tension-driven energy to create some sort of, or for the purpose of something greater. And that really falls on Neptune and Saturn. Now, whenever Saturn is making a challenging aspect, like in opposition to Venus, it's really questioning and bringing to the surface feelings of inadequacy, challenging your self-esteem, your sense of worthiness, what you deserve, self-doubt, blockages that make it harder for you to either have faith in yourself or love yourself, care for yourself, or know your own worth. So, whatever this kite configuration is activating in your chart based on the planet or other points that it touches on, it's really trying to set a sense of direction, purpose in your life. And this can, in a general sense, I would say this is related to, cultivating more self-love, cultivating a better sense of stability in your own identity. But based on other planets that may be involved in your personal chart, it can kind of change that language as well. But it is, because it is involving the opposition between Venus, Neptune, and Saturn, it's really breaking free of illusions, breaking free of self-deception, lack of faith in yourself, and lack of self-love, potentially, to make major psychological shifts, beliefs, perspectives, to change the way you show up in life, if we also consider Pluto and Uranus. So in the end, it can be a bit uneasy, tension-driven energy, but it really has the purpose of kind of improving your own relationship with yourself. And you can even talk about improving your sense of self-expression too, because it's involving the fifth house and how you show up in your social circles and in your communities. And this energy, it's the exact Venus is entering Libra exactly on the 14th of October, but Venus is gonna oppose Saturn when it's at 26 degrees of Virgo. So it's gonna be in effect and it's gonna start surfacing, before the 14th, and it will influence your life as you move through the month as well. So just, pay attention. If you're feeling any sort of doubt, uncertainty, just know it's probably this kite configuration being activated in your chart. So after the 14th, the next big thing that I want to talk about is the new moon in Libra, which is activating your fifth house, but also mostly your sixth house because it's closer to that sixth house cusp. Now, this is really all about finding balance between, work and life, finding more joy in your day-to-day routines for the sake of better health. The sixth house really is about illness and disease. So this energy can speak of new beginnings in the way you take care of yourself, but also your responsibilities and day-to-day tasks. Now, because Libra is ruled by Venus, which is, strong and traveling through your fifth house. This can even, speak of new beginnings in romance, creativity, passion projects, hobbies, or bring some sort of realizations about, what brings you true happiness, what you like doing with your time. And how you want to spend your time. On the same day, on the 21st, there is a major intense energy happening as Mercury in Scorpio is perfecting a conjunction with Mars in Scorpio in your sixth house. Now, this can bring in, conflict at work, or can surface some sort of health issues that forces you to adjust your routines and how you move throughout your day-to-day. but it can also set new ways of exercising and taking care of yourself too. And Mars is really strong in Scorpio, so it's gonna kind of take the reins and use Mercury, which can be news, information, and use it to make some sort of physical change, to act. So it can really be a time for change, but also like a call to action. You'll have a lot more energy and vigor to make any changes if you wish. I mean, you will, if especially if you have issues as a result of not making those changes, because we want to remember that both sixth house and Mars in general are not very like positive, happy, joyful, abundant energy. Usually Mars likes to accomplish its objectives through conflict and tension, through problem solving. So the 21st is intense, new moon, Mars being activated by some sort of new information, possibly related to health, that changes the course of your life. And then through the 24th to the 29th, but also before and after these exact dates, we also have a grand trine between Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, and Saturn, Neptune, all in water signs. Jupiter is traveling through your second house. Jupiter is strong in Cancer, so it can bring opportunities in financial matters. Jupiter here would typically talk about financial gain, and this can be due to some sort of unrealized opportunities related to community work or any sort of social circles. Maybe information comes through to you from that 11th house to improve your financial situation. If you are looking for some sort of external funding, fundraising, that sort of energy, this is a good time to gain additional income through other people. Jupiter can expand that Mars energy as well, so you can get really this deep sense of like craving or desire to do something, which can be related to work or some sort of service that you provide. With the sixth house energy, it is service to others, it's work, it's coworkers, as well as, day-to-day routines, work tasks, responsibilities. But there's a lot of energy and momentum in that area. So maybe you're just working your butt off. Maybe you're just working a lot harder. You know exactly what to do. With that Mercury in the water sign like Scorpio, definitely heightens your intuition. So there's this sense of just knowing what steps to take to generate more income and having the financial resources, the good judgment of Saturn and Pisces, with the help of maybe even Neptune, just this spiritual help from above coming through. So you're ending the month with intense, passionate energy that can potentially bring in financial abundance. But October is a heavy month. It's not as heavy for you as the other signs I've read for so far. So that's pretty good. And the fact that you are a very versatile, adaptable sign, you're able to work with different energies at different times and adapt to it. That's what's great about being a mutable sign like Gemini. Well, best of luck to you in October, Gemini. Have a good one. Bye.